less. Call now.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Next at noon, it's getting harder to spot scams as technology advances. We're learning more about it with Casey in just a few minutes.
And a judge says the city of Chicago was systematically overcharging residents for parking tickets. We've got more on the findings.
Taking a live look outside on this Tuesday. It's cold out there. What can you expect for the rest of the day? Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sylvia Perez.
I'm Anthony Ponce. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Let's take a quick live look outside at this Tuesday afternoon. Looks a little overcast there. Caitlin, how are we doing outside in terms of temperatures?
Temperatures, they're not bad. We're going to be climbing to the 40s, but right now we are in the low 30s. So I'm not surprised to see there aren't too many people at the Bean right now, and it's not quite as bright as it was this morning. Right now we're sitting at freezing from the lakefront to Gary to Midway, 31 at O'Hare, freezing in Aurora. But as mentioned, today is going to be a mild one, but it's a gusty day too. And you notice how those clouds have been increasing. Well, we have the chance for precipitation this evening, but the wind speeds, checking in on these numbers, they have increased since this morning. Right now we're seeing at the highest 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. And these winds may approach 40 miles per hour at times today, coming in out of the south. Here are the next 12 hours for our wind speeds. By this evening, 5, 6 o'clock, the wind's dying down slightly to around 30 miles per hour. That's really where we're going to stay, that 25 to 30 mile per hour range as we head into the early overnight. But as I said, too, the chance for rain is back. Our day planner, though, does have the mild temperatures. 41 degrees expected at 7 p.m. and we're sitting at 39 degrees. And our 3-day forecast shows that we should enjoy it because tomorrow's high only 34. Now, Wednesday is going to be brighter than today. We are going to have more sunshine in the forecast, but then we have the chance for some snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then Thursday's high right around 40. We're kind of riding this roller coaster through the week. In fact, on Friday, sunshine and temperatures in the 50s. But today it is going to be a gusty day. Temperatures are above normal. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Caitlin. Appreciate it. More scammers are turning to AI to fake emails, fake texts, and phone calls.
Yeah, the tactics aren't new, but the technology is making them even harder to spot. Casey joining us now with more. And yeah, every day you see some of these things that are posted, you're not sure. Is this real or is this AI?
Posted. We're all getting those text messages, those voicemails. I get them multiple times a day. And essentially, artificial intelligence is making all of this a lot more advanced, and it's harder to spot these things. Now, the FBI investigates scams like this, but so does the United States Postal Inspection Service, because a lot of times with these scams, the fraudster will ask you to send money through the mail. So earlier today, I sat down, spoke with over Zoom the inspector of the USPIS, Inspector Eric Shen, and he shares some tips for consumers, especially because next week is National Consumer Protection Week. Take a listen.
If you're getting attacked from all different directions when it comes to scammers trying to reach you, they really want to get at you and kind of entice you or get at you when you're least expecting it. So you do get those text messages. I get them on a daily as well. You're going to get emails from what you think is a reputable investment firm or a bank when it really isn't. The post office will never text you to tell you your package is running late and you have to pay extra money for it. And if you do get one of those texts and you are expecting a package, reach out to the post office. Go there in person or call or go to USPS.com and research on your own. Do not click on that text. Do not feel ashamed. Report it. Go to USPIS.gov/report. Report the incident. Save any kind of communication you have with the scammer. Save any kind of bank documents. Contact your bank to try and stop those payments if it hasn't already gone through. The sooner you're able to get a hold of the postal inspectors, the sooner we're able to help as far as investigations and potentially even getting some of that money back.
All right, so Casey, what are some of the ways that consumers can avoid these types of scams?
Yeah, I think the first thing is don't click on any links that you are sent, whether that's email or whether that's by text. Block the number, report it as spam. You know, most cell phones, you're able to click that little button, report as spam. to delete the text, just get it out of my sight too. And then you can report it to the FBI. There is a dedicated internet crimes website for this type of thing. And you can also report it to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Now, if any money has been exchanged using a bank account, using Venmo, you want to report that directly to your bank to try to stop that transaction from actually going through. So you want to do a few things there. Report it to these agencies, USPIS, FBI, but also hit it from the bank side too, because if there's any way that right away you can report it and say this actually is a scam, your bank could potentially stop that transaction before it starts. Now, one other thing that as Inspector Shen mentioned, you will never get a text from the post office asking for money. So one thing that I do at home, anyone can sign up for, is informed delivery through the Postal Service. That'll show you every day what mail you're getting that day and what packages you're getting. Because a lot of these texts now, it says, click this tracking number, your package is running late. But it's not a real tracking number, it's just a phishing link. So rely on just the post office to know what mail you're getting that day. You can sign up for that on their website. And as Inspector Shen told me too, if you do get a text and you are expecting a package, but something doesn't seem right, he said you can always walk into the post office and have them look into it as well.
It's so hard to differentiate, and it can be tricky, and we get so many that you don't necessarily want to report absolutely all of them because we can't keep track of them. But what happens if you do fall victim to one of these scams? Is that when you get the authorities involved?
Exactly. That's when you really want to be sure to report these incidents if you have fallen victim to one of these fraudsters, one of these scammers. And Inspector Shen also shared, don't feel ashamed, because a lot of people are victimized by this. And I asked, who is most vulnerable? You'd think perhaps the elderly, but he said younger adults are actually becoming much more susceptible to these types of scams as well. So it's not just the elderly, it's people of all ages, because the scammers are getting so good. Yeah.
Wow.
Good information. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. President Trump will deliver his State of the Union address tonight. He's expected to highlight what he is calling strong economic growth amid concerns about high living costs and trade policies. We will talk more about it with Congressman Bill Foster in just a few minutes. You can watch the entire speech live right here on Fox Chicago. Our coverage starts at 8 o'clock.
Closing arguments underway in a trial over a wrongful raid that happened in Chicago in 2018. Court documents say Chicago police swarmed the wrong apartment in the back of the Yards neighborhood, pointing assault rifles at children and forcing their grandmother to stand outside without pants on. The family sued the city and police officers that were involved.
All right, a judge has ruled the city of Chicago must pay back more than $163 million in illegally issued ticket fines. An Illinois Circuit Court found that the city systematically overcharged residents for parking or city sticker violations. State law caps those fines at $250. However, people report being charged up to $400 in some of these cases. The judge says almost 1 million tickets issued since 2012 were affected. A plaintiff in a lawsuit filed against the city talked about when he noticed something was not quite right.
Looked at it, I mean, $1,600 in tickets is, I think, insane for anyone to experience. And, when looking at it, I think I just looked at myself and said, well, this is something worth fighting for, because it doesn't seem like it's legal to just get hit with this many tickets.
The city could be responsible for paying back millions of dollars to residents.
The Supreme Court is expected to make a decision soon on a case that could have a major effect on voting access for people of color. The case is Louisiana versus Calais. It will decide whether Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 actually violates the Constitution. That clause allows states to redraw their voting districts based on race. Striking it down could allow Republicans to gain more seats in Congress. On Good Day Chicago, we spoke with Patrice Willoughby with the NAACP. She says if the justices strike down Section 2, it will have a domino effect that will deny people of color the right to vote in southern states.
You have to remember, over 50% of Black people live in the southern states. And those are the states in which the majority Republican legislatures have taken measures and are preparing to do mid-cycle redistricting to prevent those Black constituents from having representation.
Willoughby also says fewer minority candidates could be running for office. More to come on Fox 32 News at noon. President Trump delivering his State of the Union speech tonight, and we're getting a preview with Congressman Bill Foster and his special guest.
This will go down as one of the biggest snowstorms on record, but the cleanup is far from over. I'm Caroline Elliott in New York, and I'll have the latest on those cleanup efforts coming up.
Is responsible for the content of this ad.
Crews and residents in the Northeast are cleaning up roads and properties after that major snowstorm.
Caroline Elliott has more on efforts to catch up on the snow before it returns. Oh no, it's going to return later this week.
I have been living in Times Square for a few weeks until I find my apartment here, and I never saw the space as empty as it was.
More than 2 feet of snow burying parts of the Northeast, and some areas topping 3 feet deep.
Trying to get it out the way before it set in and freeze. Then it really would be a job then.
Travel bans were issued in multiple states. While some have been lifted, officials warn roads and sidewalks remain icy and dangerous.
Falling ice and snow from rooftops, from the tree branches, and even from power lines as the temperatures fluctuate a little bit.
The heavy, wet snow leading to major power outages across the region. And Massachusetts crews are working to restore service to hundreds of thousands of customers. But the governor says the issue now is access.
We've got the crews. When does the wind die down enough so that it's safe for people to get out in bucket trucks That's one thing that needs to happen.
And airlines are still playing catch up after the storm grounded travel from Philadelphia to Boston. By this morning, more than 2,000 flights were already canceled, according to FlightAware. Major carriers, including American, Delta, and United, issued travel waivers, allowing customers to change their flights without a fee, but they warn conditions remain challenging.
I'm wondering if they'll let me become the new groundhog and I can decide if winter stays a little bit longer, because this has been a bit much.
And forecasters say another storm could bring a couple more inches to the region on Wednesday. In New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox Chicago.
All right, let's look at the situation, which is a little calmer.
Yeah.
Actually, Caroline looks so.
We're so lucky,
the
aren't
difference
we?
between yesterday and today for Caroline, boy.
But we are so lucky that we did not get that. But as we look outside, not too many people out at the bean. It's cold out there, Caitlin.
Yeah, where is it?
Overcast
I saw
and cold.
a couple kiddos jumping around outside. You got to keep moving. We're still in the 30s, but it has gotten cloudy. Remember this morning, it was glowing outside when the sky melts into the lake. It was so blue. Now we've got a few clouds. And as mentioned, temperatures are in the 30s now. It's very gusty, which makes a big difference too with how it feels outside. But we have temperatures on their way to the 40s this afternoon. So it is actually going to be quite a mild day. Right now, though, we are sitting at freezing at the lakefront and in Gary. It's 32 in Chicago Heights, 33 in Morris, 35 in Joliet. So low to mid 30s right now throughout Chicagoland. Again, we have had the clouds increase and so have these winds. Right now, we're seeing them gusting to 30 to 35 miles per hour. Let's see these numbers. 28 miles per hour at Michigan City as well as Valpo, 26 miles per hour at O'Hare, 31 in Aurora, 32 miles per hour in Morris. So the wind is going to be around 35 to 40 miles per hour this afternoon. The clouds, those are going to bring the chance for precipitation this evening. So let's time that out for you. 4:15 this afternoon, and that's when we hit our peak. So we're seeing a widespread low 40-degree range for most. But our model is actually bringing a 46 at LaSalle at that time. And then this evening, 7 o'clock, stop the timeline because this is when we have some scattered wet weather out there. So maybe you're an evening commuter that drives home a little bit later, 6, 7 o'clock, you could be driving through some light precipitation, but it's out of here fast. In fact, by early tomorrow, not only is it dry, but also the clouds are going to start to scour out. And tomorrow, Wednesday, it will be cooler, but we're going to have more sunshine in the forecast. Temperatures are going to be pushing into the 30s as our high, starting off in the morning, though, mid to upper 20s. So dress warm in the morning. In the afternoon, this is lunchtime, right around 30 degrees. Mid 30s expected to be our high. Notice how quiet it is on our Wednesday afternoon. Then we get into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, and we have the chance for some accumulating snowfall. Now that snow, it's not going to last. And then at the end of the week, we get to have 50s and sunshine again. Here's your 5-day forecast for temperature. So normal high is flirting with 40, 39 is normal, which is just about where we're going to be today. Tomorrow, we're dipping below normal down to the mid-30s, then back to where we should be on Thursday. Again, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that chance for some snow. And then we surpass normal, 53 degrees expected Friday. Also, it's going to be a sunny day on Friday. This weekend, the 40s on Saturday, down to the 30s on Sunday with a chance for some scattered snow around. And we're starting off next week with temperatures in the 30s too. So we are going to have, again, the ups and the downs, but at least we have that Friday to look forward to, the 50s with sunshine. Back to you.
Fox Local.
Welcome back. It's 12:20. President Trump gives his State of the Union speech tonight in the Capitol. But before he does, we wanted to get a preview with Congressman Bill Foster and his special guest, Suzanne Hoban. We want to thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Congressman, let's start with you. What are you hoping to hear from the president tonight?
Well, what I expect we're going to see is a speech from a president who's failed to deliver on essentially every one of his promises. You know, today is the 4th anniversary of the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a war that Trump promised that he could solve on day one. He promised to cut energy prices in half in his first year in office, and electricity prices are up by 13% and rising at twice the rate of inflation. But most painfully, he promised everyone that he'd get better health care for less money. And the cuts in the BBB, the big beautiful bill, the largest cuts to health care in our country's history, is something that is hurting all of the people that I represent. And at the bleeding edge of that is Suzanne Hoban, who runs the Family Health Partnership Clinic in McHenry County, one of the 8 counties in the district I represent, and she is dealing every day with the results of those cuts.
Suzanne, will you chime in on that and tell our viewers what life was like before these measures and now how they've impacted you and your clinic?
Well, healthcare for the uninsured wasn't great before. I'll just be very clear about that. But we started receiving phone calls in December trying to establish care with our clinic because we only take people who are uninsured. We don't do Medicaid or Medicare. Those phone calls were telling us that premiums and without the subsidies, people's insurance was going to go from $300 to $1,100. After January 1st, and after that first week, we ended up having to stop taking new patients because we were already over capacity. And so each day, our staff turns away at least 5 people who want to establish care, who don't have insurance, who aren't getting their medication like insulin or their cardiac medication. I don't know where these people are going to go. It's been almost a disaster.
Suzanne, I always want to bring these stories to a personal level and kind of make sure that as you are here talking about what you're going through, that the people at home can understand. I'm wondering if there is one particular story that you could share with us about somebody who was impacted.
Absolutely. One of the patients that we brought in, who is a fairly new patient, she is losing her eyesight because of some macular degeneration. Up until December, she was insured and she was getting regular shots in her eyes every 3 months to prevent going blind. She doesn't have that now. And ophthalmology is a really tough specialty to get a hold of and access, but it's even harder when you have no insurance. So we are scrambling to just save this woman's eyesight.
Wow. And I'm sure she's not alone. Hundreds of thousands of others probably in a similar situation. Now, Congressman Foster, a lot of local lawmakers, they are choosing to skip this thing entirely. Okay, you were deciding to go. You were deciding to bring Suzanne as your guest. Talk about the rationale behind that decision. What message you were hoping to send by simply being there when so many of your other Democratic colleagues are not?
Well, it's a decision that every member of Congress has to make, and frankly, it's not an easy one. Last year, I sat down in the back. You know, really, I attended out of respect for the office, not the person holding the office. But after the 5th bald-faced lie, I decided that was enough, and I quietly left. I don't know how much I'll be able to tolerate tonight. But again, it's out of respect for the office and our Constitution that lists this as one of the duties of the president. But it is, you know, it's a tough decision. I did not want the president, however, to be looking out into an audience that consisted only of his sycophants and the people that are applauding to his every word. He should be looking at people like Suzanne, who are facing the real world consequences of the big, beautiful bill and all of the bad legislation and executive orders that he's passed down.
Congressman, if I can ask you one final question here, what action would you like to see taken on a federal level, not only to improve health care access and affordability, but also to get back some of the other government programs that have been shut down? Is there a possibility that that could happen?
Yeah, well, we've been pretty successful at focusing the discussion on ICE. Because that is really where the biggest unresolved issues are. Republicans support the actions of ICE, and Democrats do not. They don't believe that U.S. citizens should be grabbed off the street for no reason. We believe there should be a judicial warrant if you're going to go grab anyone for any reason. And so this is a big unresolved difference. And so what the next step that we're trying to do is to get the handful of remaining open, still closed down federal agencies. Things like TSA is still open, the Coast Guard, FEMA, a very small number, and there is standalone legislation that's been introduced that simply provides full funding for those leaving only ICE standing, and let's have that discussion.
All right,
because the people of America are not undecided on this. They are not happy with what he is doing on immigration enforcement.
Congressman Bill Foster and his guest Suzanne Hoban going to be representing Illinois at the State of the Union address tonight. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
All right, court documents show an update in the case of a high school girl who was found dead on a cruise ship last year. We will tell you why her 16-year-old stepbrother has now been charged in connection with her death.
And we have more on the State Department's orders to evacuate non-emergency personnel from the American Embassy in Beirut. Welcome back. It's 12:30, and here's a look at some of the top stories we're following for you this afternoon. Mexico says 25 members of the Mexican National Guard were killed in that shootout with El Mencho's cartel. He was killed on Sunday, and he is known as one of the major drug lords in Mexico. Agents were able to track him down by following his lover to his location. There are still travel warnings in several Mexican states. The cartel has been reacting with violence after his death.
All right, we are getting more updates in the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. Her family is now offering a $1 million reward to bring her home. Savannah Guthrie posted a video to her social media today saying that her family still believes her mom will be returned home, but also acknowledged that she could be, quote, gone. Savannah Guthrie also says her family would be donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Non-emergency staff have been evacuated from the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. This comes as tensions continue to escalate with Iran. The president said bad things will happen last week if Iran cannot reach a deal on its nuclear program. He gave them a deadline of 10/15, and that was last Thursday. And the State Department says the decision to remove non-essential staff will be temporary.
All right, new details in the investigation of the death of 18-year-old Anna Kepner, who died on a cruise ship in early November.
Newly released court documents are now indicating that Kepner's stepbrother has been charged in connection with her homicide.
Fox 35 obtained recent court documents in the custody case between Anna's stepmom and her ex-husband. Here are some of the things we found. According to social media from the Kepner family on February 3rd, 2026, the petitioner/father's son, T.H., was charged by the United States Attorney in the Southern District of Florida for the redacted and homicide of Anna Kepner. Another line reads, "It is not in the best interest of the petitioner/father's 9-year-old minor child, BHI, to be living with her stepfather, where her brother has been accused of redacted and murdering the daughter of her stepfather, all while the petitioner/father is supporting his son, TH, in his criminal defense of those allegations as outlined above." The court documents further reveal that following the cruise, Anna's father and stepmother allegedly kicked out the stepbrother out of their home and have not seen him since. We spoke to Anna's biological mother, who did not raise her, and a retired FBI agent about the teen suspect's appearance in court.
I'm just glad that it's finally moving forward and that they're finally getting to where they can charge.
Do you think we're on the road to justice being served?
Look, this is a big day for justice. Look at how long it's been since this young girl was found dead, deceased, under a bed, under life jackets, under blankets, and it's been months.
All right, let's take a live look over the city right now. Still overcast. Caitlin, it was nice and bright and blue skies earlier. What happened?
I was so excited when I saw the sunshine this morning, Caitlin.
Me too. It was beautiful. But unfortunately, we've got the clouds now. Temperatures are not bad. That's our silver lining today. We are near where we should be for this time of year. I expect highs to be in the upper 30s and low 40s, but the clouds have rolled in. It's very gusty, and we do have the chance for rain this evening. So let's talk about our weather headlines, because we have a little bit of everything. We've got the clouds now, chance for rain this evening, as I just mentioned. We also have the chance for snow this week and the 50s. So let's get into it. Snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So the rain this evening is going to be brief. It's out of here by early tomorrow. Tomorrow during the day, it's going to be a little bit cooler, highs in the 30s, but the sunshine is back. Then we have the chance for snow into Thursday morning, and Friday is going to be the best day of the week when we have the sunshine and the 50s. Right now, though, you're stepping out the door to freezing temperatures from the lakefront to Gary, freezing in 32 degrees in Merrillville, Aurora, DeKalb, 31 in Waukegan. We're really all in the upper 20s, low 30-degree range right now, but the wind has picked up with the cloud cover. Right now, we're seeing winds gusting to 34 miles per hour in Kankakee, 31 at Midway as well as Aurora, 26 miles per hour at O'Hare, 29 in Waukegan, making it feel like we could be in the teens. So the feel like temperature right now is 19 from Waukegan to O'Hare as well as in Aurora, 21 in Gary, 16 in Valpo, 23 at LaSalle. So it feels cold outside, but actual highs are expected to reach around 40 degrees. Now, talking about that chance for rain, I mentioned how it will be here this evening. Tonight, we're going to be drying out. So after the rain moves out, temperatures will be bottoming out in the low 20s for some of us. In Chicago, I do expect the mid to upper 20s, right around 27 degrees at the lakefront tonight is our low. Tomorrow's high only 34, so it's going to be a touch colder tomorrow, as I mentioned, but we're going to have more sunshine in the forecast, and it's not going to be as windy as it is today. Our futurecast shows that strong southerly wind today. 3:30 this afternoon, still dry, but if you look to our north, we have the potential for some scattered shower activity as soon as 5 to 6 p.m. This is 7:45. Stop the timeline here where you can see that line of showers shifting on through and then finally exiting around 1 to 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then we have more sunshine, as I said, but notice that wind shift coming in out of the north tomorrow. That's going to hold temperatures down into the 30s, and then we have those changes coming, including the potential for snow Wednesday night into early Thursday. There it is. But again, that is going to be out of here quickly, and we are going to be drying out with that sunshine, warmer temperatures to end the week. So here's your 7-day forecast. Temperatures right around 40 degrees this afternoon. We already have the clouds. It's quite overcast. It's not going to be the best looking day. And again, with the wind, it feels a little bit colder than it actually is. So we're going to continue with the gusty wind today. Then we have the potential for a little bit of rain this evening. Tomorrow, it is going to be a quiet day, but make sure you're dressed warm because highs are only going to be hardly above freezing. So we are below normal tomorrow. And then Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we do have the chance for snow, and we could have some accumulation possible. So you might have to take it slow Thursday morning. 53 Friday this weekend, decreasing temperatures 42 Saturday down to the 30s Sunday and Monday. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Caitlin. FedEx is suing the U.S. government over the Trump administration's tariffs. We have details on that and much more coming up in your business headlines. Welcome back. Taking a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow Jones trading up 447 points.
All right, now it is time to take a look at the rest of our business headlines with CJ Papa.
Home improvement projects on the rise. Home Depot held up better than expected in the recent quarter. Its earnings and sales cooled from a year earlier, but top forecasts, and it's expanding. Home Depot plans 15 new stores this year. Meta Platforms has agreed to buy AI tech from Advanced Micro Devices to power data centers. The Wall Street Journal says the 5-year deal is valued at more than $100 billion and could result in Meta owning as much as 10% of AMD stock. FedEx is suing the U.S. government in the U.S. Court of International Trade. The shipper is seeking a full refund plus interest for trade duties paid. Now that the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the tariffs, the FedEx lawsuit did not say how much it paid in tariffs. And President Trump and his 2024 election campaign have settled a copyright infringement lawsuit brought by the estate of legendary R&B singer Isaac Hayes. The case accused then-candidate Trump of repeatedly using the song "Hold On, I'm Coming" on the campaign trail without permission. Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes III, says the family and estate are satisfied with the outcome. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox Chicago.
All right, 1240. An overwhelming number of employers here in Chicago say that they are missing the talent that they need. We will find out what qualities they're looking for. We come back.
To Chicago.
Welcome back. Jake's here with Hollywood Morning. Another loss.
Yes, he is here. This is a star that spanned generations.
Yeah, you know, you and I were talking about one part of his career, right, and then we had Gabby, who grew up with another part of his career. He's one of those generational actors. So friends, family, fans mourning the death of actor Robert Carradine. Carradine's family say he passed away following a years-long battle with bipolar disorder. He was the older brother of actors David and Keith Carradine, best known for his roles as Lewis in Revenge of the Nerds, and to a lot of people, the father of Hilary Duff's character on the Disney series Lizzie McGuire.
Huh. What? It says here lizards hibernate. They appear dead while they're actually sleeping.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Now Matt can take her back to class and...
Uh-oh.
Robert Carradine was 71 years old. Shifting gears now, we're going to take a look at what's streaming into your home this week.
To destroy a monster.
takes another monster. We need Kong and Godzilla.
What if they make the situation worse? You're trying to play God. No man should play God.
Two of the most iconic movie monsters of all time are back, but this time they're on the small screen. Godzilla and King Kong are back in season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It looks like a big screen blockbuster, but it's streaming right to your home this Friday. I remember when they first showed the trailer, Sylvia, you lovingly said, it looks so stupid, but it's not. It's awesome.
Tell us
and
how
it's
you
mostly
really
awesome
feel,
because
Sylvia.
they're joined by an actor who knows a thing or two about monsters, Mr. Kurt Russell. And I spoke with him about the difference between shooting The Thing back in the 80s when they used to make monsters and they'd be on the set versus Godzilla and King Kong where it's all CGI. And he has to kind of use his imagination like a little kid.
This is not Kong. And it's not Godzilla. This is something bigger.
Kurt, I have told you an annoying number of times that I think The Thing is just one of the greatest films ever made.
Is that a man in there or something? Whatever it is, they burn it up in a hurry.
And obviously, when you filmed that with John Carpenter back in the day, the monsters were right there. It was practical and it was messy and it was tangible and it was right in front of your eyes and it was something that you could react to. And with Godzilla, so much of the scale and the scope and the danger lives entirely in your imagination. I'd love for you to compare those two acting experiences. What was it like to react to The Thing on set versus almost being a kid again and using your imagination for something like Godzilla?
Well, we had what they call a previs, and we had drawings of kind of what it was going to be. It's always more interesting and more fun to see it when it's finished, and when it's done, it's always great. The Thing was it was a lot of practicals, a lot of puppets, but it was also a lot of the same thing, and it was a gobo with an X on it or a tennis ball on a pole if you're moving it and following it. You got a pretty good idea because you've talked it out. You know what world you're playing in. It's fun to watch the other actors. I always have fun watching the other actors try to, react to it. And most of the time, you can't go big enough. You either freeze or you can't go big enough.
Who wins?
Starts streaming this Friday on Apple TV+. Remember back in the day when we used to have to go to the movies to see these things, and now it's there.
It's just right there.
I know. I went back to the movies recently, and I thought, I forgot how much I love sitting in a theater.
It's a great experience.
When's the last time you went?
Well, listen, I got chastised by a friend yesterday for never having seen Big Trouble in Little China, and it brought me back to Blockbuster Video and missing.
Wait,
I remember seeing that.
And you said you've never seen The Thing?
I know, exactly.
Do you not like John Carpenter movies?
That's crazy.
I
We'll be right
want
back.
to go to Blockbuster, not just the movies, but see those cutouts.
Why do you hate John Carpenter and Kurt Russell movies?
We're going to have to
That's a very
address it.
specific niche of movies to never see.
Is there still a Blockbuster left?
There's one.
Here's that.
12:51, everyone, and we are getting ready for our Chicago Live segments that are going to be taking place online from 1 to 4 p.m. You know, we're going to start right here with the conversation about employers in the city of Chicago. Only 5% of them that says they actually have the talent that they need. And you look around Chicago, there's so many talented people. We've got to ask what is going on. Michelle Reisdorf, District Director at Robert Half in Chicago, is joining me now. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Anita.
You know, obviously, we've got to know the why behind this. Like, what are the reasons that we're seeing this?
Well, we're definitely seeing a rebound in job growth in the first half of 2026, and 60% of companies in the Chicago area alone are saying that they are going to hire for permanent staff because of projects and backed up workload needs that they have.
And you would think that there are some ripple effects here.
Definitely. You know, a lot of companies put some workload and projects on hold in 2025, and they're finding that in 2026 that work needs to get done, and they need to start to hire to catch up. And you know, feeling a little behind, they've got to start to move forward and move ahead and get those seats filled.
Are there, you know, certain industries that are more plagued by this than others?
Yes, you'll find that some of the key industries that we staff in, like legal, finance, marketing, and creative, are all industries that show high demand. The administrative industry is showing demand as high as 12% in shortage of staffing needs. So several areas that definitely have strong need.
I would think that AI fits into this as well. So tell me what we as humans need to be doing better as we see this kind of environment right now.
Yeah, so AI is affecting the workforce in multiple ways. One, as a candidate, you need to make sure that you're upskilling and learning AI, you know, making it part of your daily activities, trends, learning, so that you can bring that talent to the workforce. So many companies are lacking in candidates with AI skills, so that's important. But for companies, AI is impacting how you are screening applicants every day. A lot of applicants are using AI to present, you know, picture-perfect resumes and backgrounds. And so as an employer, you're really having to go through a rigorous screening process to make sure that the candidates that you're meeting with are indeed real candidates with real skill sets and not just AI-driven, you know, almost perfect resumes.
There is no such thing as perfection, especially when you're dealing with humans. Thank you so much for your time, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And today on Chicago Live, we're also talking about the Black Film Photo Project. Looking forward to that discussion. The senior correspondent at Commonwealth is going to join me. She's going to be on talking about the bones of St. Francis Assisi, who they're going to be on public display now for the first time ever. Also, our own Cassie Carlson is going to be joining me, zooming in from Indianapolis, where the NFL Combine is happening, and the Bears leadership, of course, being asked about much more than just the talent that's there on the field. Plus, we have an attorney from Zolna Swetland LLC that is going to be discussing a historic ruling in a class action suit that was found. It found that the city of Chicago is liable for more than $163 million in illegal fines and penalties for city stickers and other tickets. It is one of our top trending items online right now. So you can see all of this again between 1 and 4 p.m. online. Catch us on fox32chicago.com, the Fox local app, or on YouTube. I'll see everybody starting at 1 online. But we're going to take another quick break here for midday, and then Anthony and Sylvia will be back to close things out.
32 Chicago.
Welcome back. 6 Chicago snowplows have new names as of today, and the winners of the annual Name a Snowplow contest are Abolish Ice, Stephen Cold Bear, Pope Frio the 14th, Blizzard of Oz, Sven Cooley, and Caleb Chilliams. The winners are getting a photo op with their plow and a little city swag to go with it. How about that?
They're so topical.
Yeah, they are.
Like they're so
right?
current.
Yeah, they are. Current events, news.
Yes.
Yeah.
People, makers. Yes.
I'm surprised at some of those.
Indeed. And hey, those plows aren't too busy at the moment.
Thank goodness.
Fortunately, especially with everything going on in the Northeast.
I didn't realize that those snow plows have their names on the side.
Yeah, so they started this how many years ago? Like 3 years ago?
3 years ago, I want to say. I think this is the third year.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that we named them. I didn't realize they actually were plastered to the truck. Like, driving down, like, oh, that's so-and-so.
How fun is it to see your name driving
There you
by,
go.
right?
Right.
Mrs. O'Leary's plow.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Will.
ours, right? That was Will Hager.
Will did that. Will, shout out to Will.
Our web
first
department,
year.
we've got creative minds over there. Okay, talking about the forecast. Anthony said, thank goodness we don't have the snow. Well, yeah, today we have temperatures actually reaching around 40 degrees, but we do have snow in the forecast, so let me explain. First of all, today, right now, we're sitting at 33, but as mentioned, we're